Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopefully elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Outwalk who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming into another lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification. Lord's willingness be edifying. And this is Esau is Edom, the so-called white man, the so-called Caucasian. Thus saith the Bible. Lord willing, this be edifying.
For now, just know that much, though by no means all, of the Arab world carries with them the genes of Esau. In particular, a large segment of the Turkish population is related to Esau, as are most Syrians and the Kurdish people of Iraq. We should at least have heard of the Ottoman Empire, which ruled the Middle East for many centuries, from about 1300 to just after World War I. The Ottomans were a dominant tribe in the nation of Turkey, and it was these particular Turks who are direct descendants of Esau.
You see, these devils. Now, when you go back to this and play this again, you see a guy right here, Esau, Edom, King Herod, the Idumean, right? Facts. Idumea is Greek for Edom. Facts. Esau mixed with the descendants of Ishmael. Listen, man. There's no such thing as mixed race, okay? You are what your father is, according to the Bible. This is Numbers, chapter 1, and verse 18, and it reads, and they assembled, let's read verse 17, and Moses and Aaron took these men, which are expressed by their names, and they assembled all the congregations together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So he declared their pedigrees by the house of their fathers. There's no such thing as mixed race. Okay? And what these devils is doing, still in 2019, the year Corral, they still trying to hide who they are. Well, the scriptures tell you, you are the Edomites. And he got it right here. Esau is Edom. King Herod, the Idumean. Idumean is the Greek for Edom. Facts. But then he going to have Esau mixed with the descendants of Ishmael. Okay, he did. But his seed is not mixed because he took some women from Ishmael, some daughters of Ishmael. That don't mix the seed of Edom. Much of the Arabs world carry the genes of Esau. No, it doesn't. You can't mix races, man. See, this is these devils trying to keep people asleep, but we know the truth. The Bible clearly tell you Esau, Edom, is the father of the Edomites. Okay? The Edomites are the so-called white people. Okay? The Caucasians, the cave dwellers. Let's read this. Genesis 25 and verse 21. Let's prove this. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, if it's a good thing to have kids, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, because they used to take the garments from animals and dye them red in the ancient time. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Esau in the Hebrew is Joshua, which means wasted away. Okay, you came out red because you have no pigment, you have no melanin, so your blood show forth through your skin. Don't you dummies know the Arabs have melanin? Okay, the Arabs have melanin, so therefore they cannot be the Edomites. You Edomites don't have no pigment or no melanin, so therefore your blood show forth through your skin, which makes you red in different shades of pink. Different shades of red and pink. Okay? You have no melanin. The Arabs got melanin. So that's a cut.
Now, just know that much, though by no means all, of the Arab world carries with them the genes of Esau.
That's a lie. You can't mix seed. The man took the seed. How you gonna mix Ishmael with the Edomites when the man took the seed? You see?
In particular, a large segment of the Turkish population is related to Esau, as are most Syrians and the Kurdish people.
No, devil. You are a Edomite. Okay? You are a red, pinkish, pale face Edomite. A so-called white man. A so-called Caucasian. A cave dweller. Well, you are a cave dweller.
Iraq. We should at least have heard of the Ottoman Empire, which ruled the Middle East for many centuries, from about 1300 to just after World War I. The Ottomans were a dominant tribe in the nation of Turkey, and it was these particular Turks who are direct descendants of Esau. And of course, these Turks are Muslim. And we know from Bible prophecy that the Turks are going to play a primary role in the events of Revelation as enemies of Israel. All comes together, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. That's a lie, man. The Lord said the earth. Let's read this. Job 9 and 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So, we don't have an Arab Jesus. We don't have a Moabite or Ammonite Jesus. We only have a so-called white Jesus. So that's a lie. The Lord said right here, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. Who? The so-called white man. During the Roman Empire. Okay? They set up this guy, what is his name? Rodrigo Borgia, right? The sixth Pope of Rome, set his son, Cesare Borgia, up to be Jesus Christ, man, and painted the image. So the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. The Bible tell you in Malachi 1 and 4, the wicked is the Edomites. So there's no Arab Jesus. So what is this guy talking about? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So if the so-called white man didn't cover the faces of the Most High, his son Yahushua, and Solomon and King David and the Israelites, then who did it? The Arabs didn't do that. Okay? The Turks and the Syrians and the crews of Iraq, they didn't do that. The so-called white man did it. Okay, in the mid-1300s, which is called iconoclasm, which is whitewashing. Okay, Renaissance art, man. During the time of that rebirth. Okay? They did that, man. What it is, you got the whitewashing, the Renaissance art, iconoclasm. Okay? Renaissance mean rebirth, man. So they did this when they came back in the rulership in the mid 1300s. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. The Ishmael wasn't given the earth, man. The earth wasn't given to Ishmael. It was given to Esau. This is Genesis 25, Genesis 27, and verse 40. Just read the point. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherein his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, matter of fact, let's read verse 39. Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shall thou live. Okay? And he said, what? And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. Who was he talking to? Esau. Esau had a dominion on the earth. The Ishmael's blessing wasn't to live by the sword, and they had a dominion over the earth, and the fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven. That was you Edomites. So that's a whole cut right there in itself, man.
The thing we must also understand is that the majority of Muslims in this world are in some way or another related to Esau, even the ones in Afghanistan.
That's a lie. If they don't come from the seed line of the Edomites, they come from the seed line of Arab, of Ishmael, man. Okay? If they come from the seed line of Ishmael, they are not Edomites, because the man toast the seed. And see, these devils, 2019, the year of Corruption, they still trying to cover up that these so-called white people are the Edomites, man. But the truth is out. And they steady sending their agents to try to hide who they are, man. But the truth is out. And there's nothing you can do about it.
So this enmity that would occur between the twin brothers, Jacob and Esau, almost 4,000 years ago.
And it's still today, man. Okay? The enmity between the Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Edomites, the so-called white man, the Caucasians. That's the enmity that the Lord was speaking about in Genesis 3 and 15, man. Okay? When he told Satan, I will put enmity between thy seed and her seed. Who? Israelites and Edomites, man. Don't it say in Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel with the force of the sword? Amos 1 and 11. Matter of fact, let's read them two precepts to get straight to the point. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Now he just told you himself the enmity between Esau and Jacob. Okay, let's get one more. Isaiah 1 and 11. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. He kept his wrath forever against who? His brother. Obadiah 1 and 10. For the violence against thy brothers Jacob. Now hold on. Who did Obadiah write this to? The Edomites. Let's read Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, concerning Edom. Okay? Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, when the Babylonians took us down, you Edomites stood on the side, man. Okay? And you was helping the Babylonians to take down Israel. You can read it in Psalms 137, man. Starting at verse 7 down to 9. And the foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even thou was as one of them. Who? Esau, Edom. This is talking about you, man. You devils, 2019 still trying to say you ain't the Edomites. You are the Edomites, man. You so-called white people, you Caucasians, you cave dwellers are the Edomites.
Everything to do with the condition of our world as it is right now. It's what's led up to our current situation and how it's going to all play out leading up to and through the Great Tribulation. Now, looking at a little more of the blessing, or really, I think, curse that Esau was given, it says, by your sword shall you live.
Right.
In other words, violence, pillaging, that shall be Esau's way of gaining wealth and prosperity.
That's not the Arabs. See, he telling on himself. Why? Psalm 64:8, they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. He telling you right now, through rape, robbing, murdering, and pillaging, they have dominated the world by the sword, man. That's Esau's blessing, not Ishmael. That's not the Arab's blessing. This is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7, and it reads, 2 Ezra 6 and 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world. That's a prophecy, letting you know that Esau is going to be ruling the earth when Yahweh shall return. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So, this is a prophecy letting you know that the Edomites, the Caucasians, the so-called white man, will be in rulership when Yahweh shall return. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, the Israelites, is the beginning of it that followeth, the kingdom of heaven.
And as I have explained on a number of occasions, these prophetic blessings have more effect on the person's future descendants than on the person who originally received the blessing. And that is what we find as we follow the progress of Esau's line.
And that's facts. And it's upon his kids right now. That's why Isaiah 14:21 say, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. And you got to pay for all the rape, robbing, murder, and pillaging that you have done on the four corners of the earth, which you just mentioned out of your own mouth.
Esau's descendants didn't become shepherds. They became conquerors, bands of robbers who descended on caravans that passed through their lands.
You see, he telling you right here, man, but he talking about it's the Arabs. These Edomites is hurt, man. They are hurt, man. Okay? And he's deceiving his congregation with this madness.
War was their way of life.
Exactly.
War is even at the heart of what is now their religion.
Right.
Islam.
See, he talking about Islam. No. Babylon the Great, North America, has the greatest military, man. Okay? That's why North America has the greatest military. That's why they have made EU and NATO to join unto them to make one great military, man. Who have created a fifth branch of the military? The king of Babylon, Donald Trump, DJ Trump. What he said, they have created a fifth branch of the military, which is a space force, man. They putting missiles in space. For what? The Arabs ain't putting no missiles in space, man. It's the so-called white man that's doing that. Okay? The Arabs is not putting missiles in space, man. The Arabs does not have a space station. It's you Edomites, man. You so-called white people. You gonna tell me this to Muslims. You Edomites is hurt, man.
Further, the blessing also says, and you shall serve your brother.
Right, which is the Israelites. In the kingdom of heaven, you Edomites got to serve us for 1,000 years of hardcore slavery. Then the Lord gonna do away with you. We're gonna have a big bonfire with you Edomites. Thus saith the Bible.
But when you grow restive, you shall break the yoke from your neck.
And that happened under King David, under Solomon. The Edomites came from up under the yoke of King David and Solomon. Okay? And they came into power. That's why you got Alexander the Great started ruling when about 323 BC. Okay? He started ruling. Then, as they went down, during the Dark Ages, the Byzantine Empire, and when the Israelites ruled for 1,000 years, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then they came back, the Edomites came back into rulership in the mid 1300s. And from the mid 1300s to now, you have had dominion over the earth. By what? The force of the sword.
It was King David who was the first descendant of Jacob to rule over the descendants of Esau.
Right.
And as prophesied in the blessing of Isaac. Edom wore the yoke of Israeli domination on their neck from about...
He said Israeli domination. See, they trying to tie in the Israelites with Israelis. No, man. The Edomites are the Israelis, man. What are you talking about? See, these devils is hurt, and they trying to confuse you, man. But they can't confuse the elect with this madness. Because we know, hey, Revelation 2:9 said, I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan.
About 1000 BC until about 735 BC, a longer period of time than the United States has been a nation. It was King Ahaz of Judah who lost control of the Edomite nation, and not since then have the descendants of Esau admitted to being under the control of an Israelite. Hopefully this helps to explain the determination of the so-called Palestinians today to be free of any control under the thumb of the reborn nation of Israel, because
those are not Israelites, man. And those are not Edomites, man. Okay? This is about Esau and Jacob, the Edomites and the Israelites, man. Hey, these devils is hurt, man.
As many Palestinians recognize, they are descendants of Esau.
If they Edomites, them Palestinians, man, they are Arabs, man. They from the son of Ishmael, man. Okay? And you devils know that, man. But see, this thing is spiritual, man. We know, as Numbers 1:18 said, we are what our father is, because the man chose the seed, man. But these devils is so hurt, they got to find some type of way to destroy, man. Okay? But guess what? Hey, this truth, this wisdom, not understanding of Yahweh Bashim Hawashai is breaking down all strongholds of Christianity and religion. And these peoples are hurt, man. And they know they finna go into slavery, man, for 1,000 years. Thus saith the Bible. Hey, they hurt, man. These Edomites are hurt, man. Let me get a few precepts and close. This is Ezekiel. These Edomites is hurt, man. Ezekiel 36 and verse 1. And it reads, Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, because the enemy have said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. What ancient high places? The land of Israel, man. Okay? Therefore, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side. Who? The Idumeans. That ye may be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the words of the Lord Yahweh power. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about you. Verse 5, Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea. Now look right here. He telling you right here, Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. The Lord say what? Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land, Israel, into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful mind, to cast it out for a prey. The Lord said, you have taken my land. Who? He said the Idumeans did this. Idumean is the Greek word for Edom. He got it right here on the screen. Esau, Edom, King Herod, the Idumean. Idumean is the Greek for Edom. Come on, man. Let's get another one. This is Psalms 79 and verse 1. O power, the heathen are coming to thy inheritance. Thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps. Who did this? The heathen, the Idumeans, man. Let's get another one. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 7. It reads, your country is desolate. This is Isaiah 1. The Lord is talking to Israelites right here. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Hey, they shooting back and forth missiles over there. The Palestinians and the Israelis. Okay? Back and forth, they fighting over the land. The Lord said, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. We see these devils defiling our land every day in our presence, man. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Come on, man. You can't get around this, man. Let's get another one. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 21 reads, and I will give it into the hand of the strangers for a prey, and the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. The Lord said he's going to give our land to the wicked. We know who the wicked is. Malachi 1 and 4 said the wicked are the Idumeans. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Verse 24, wherefore will I bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled, man. Who's doing this? The Idumeans, man. This is Isaiah 26 and 10. And it reads, let favor be shewed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, what's the land of uprightness? Israel, Jerusalem. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Who's in the land of uprightness dealing unjustly? The Idumeans, the Edomites, man. This ain't rocket science, man. Okay? This is Luke 21 and 24. Now this happened in 70 AD. Let's read this. Luke 21. Let's read Luke 21 and start at verse 20. This is what Yahushua told the Israelites. Luke 21 and 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem come past with armies, this happened in 70 AD. Okay? And when you shall see Jerusalem come past with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance. Talking about 70 AD, man. That all things which are written may be fulfilled. Okay? This happened in 70 AD, man. Let's read verse 24. Now let's keep reading. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Okay? This happened in 70 AD, man. A lot of people got put to death, man. Women got put to death and their kids. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. 70 AD, man. And the Lord say what, man? We haven't been back in our land since we left there on ships. Since we left Africa on ships, we haven't been back in our land, man. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt means bondage, slavery. By the way whereof I spake unto thee. North America also is known as Egypt, man. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. See what no more again? Our land of Israel, man, Jerusalem. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. The word buy mean redeem. Okay? The point is, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. What? Our land, man. Okay? Why? Because the Gentiles going to try down the land until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, man. This is prophecy, man. See, this is all about prophecy. And these Edomites, as it tell you in Daniel 12 and 10, the wicked would not understand. Who's the wicked? You Edomites, man. You Idumeans. You Caucasians. You so-called white people, man. Because it's about prophecy. And you don't believe in prophecy. That's why you have your archaeologists. Okay? Because you gotta dig up things before you can believe. So this is not given to you to understand. This is Jeremiah 51 and 25. Because this is prophecy about you Idumeans. Jeremiah 51 and 25 reads, Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. Who's cutting down the trees, creating GMO foods, chemtrails in the air, polluting the entire world, man? Who's doing these things? You Idumeans. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and make thee a burnt mountain. He said, you who's destroying all the earth, man. Revelation 11 and 18 reads, And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth, man. And the only people that's destroying the earth is the same ones that was given dominion over the earth. You Edomites, man. You the ones that are destroying the earth, man. Hey, so just going through a few precepts to prove the point, man. Because these devils is hurt. They have nothing, man. Okay? They are the wicked. And they're going to be destroyed, man. And they trying to cover up their tracks, but you can't. Ishmael have melanin. The Lord created 18 nations on the planet Earth. The only nation that doesn't have melanin are you Edomites, you Idumeans. All other 17 nations have melanin, man. You the only outcast, man. Okay? Thus saith the Bible. So with that, I got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopefully elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Hey, Lord willing, till next time, shalom. Hey, Psalm 64 and 8, they have made their own tongue to fall upon themselves, man. Shalom.